Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Right, you'll get a fill up with this, wouldn't you? This firewood for crop, but I've still got a load of it left. I've got tons of it. I've turned loads of bits. Still got stuff left. Now the little pot I turned, little lidded box. Now I said it would. Look at that. Look there. It's just falls off. Little turn, and it's tight like that. Okay. Brilliant, and it probably won't move no more than that. The other ones I've had them for a couple of years, and they're still stayed exactly the same. So there you go. It goes, turn it like that. It's a one-hand operation. You can just lift it on and off like so, and then when you want it, you can just turn it like that, lock it, and it's done. Okay, that's how they go. I think it's brilliant the way it works.
Magic.
And I like them. And as I say, if you get it dead right, you won't get this change here, so you won't feel it that it's gone slightly oval, because that's what it does. But it goes slightly oval. This won't. That's why you leave this a little bit thicker. Okay, don't go ultra thin with this, because this will move as well. Both move. You're stuffed, didn't you? Right. When you put this in, it's loose there like that. Okay. When you turn it, you turn this back into a circle, and it stays like that, and it will always stay, and it won't shrink anymore because it's dry wood, so it shouldn't change anymore. There you go.
There you go.
Job's done. Right, what are we doing today?
What are we doing?
Right, today I want to make one of these little things, okay? And you'll see what that's for in a second. That's what I'm making. I'm making it out of a piece of firewood. Now, I had another piece. It's just a piece from one of these. I've got this bit here. Okay, that would just be one of these like this. What I've done on this one, I've just taken a little flat on there. When I cut it, I cut a piece out of a piece like that, because that's how the firewood comes. It's all that size like this. Okay, some a bit smaller, some a little bit bigger, but they're all this sort of size. So you tend to get two things out of each one. So I've cut this one. Okay, just cut it through, and you'll see you get all the, like, it'll be cracked. Sometimes you cut it, it might go right through. This one I cut, crack didn't go through. It's okay. Now, if you can't do that on the bandsaw, then there are ways you can hold it. You could put it on a worm screw. You could get a chisel, a normal hand chisel, put it on the edge there, as long as it's up this way. Give it a whack, and it'll split a piece off and give you a nice straight edge. Okay. Don't worry about doing planers and things. The worst comes to it, you can always get your skew chisel and scrape yourself a little flat spot. All you need is enough of that point of that to go on. That's it. Right, enough of that. Right, I've marked the centre, and I've shown how to do that so many times. I just use a compass and mark where I'm going to get my circle from, and then that's my centre. So I'll put it on that. This side I don't bother. All I do is I bring this up, I look at this, and I've tried to keep that straight on that edge. I'll lock that off, I bring that up, so, because don't think it's always going to be centre on that. It's not. Right, I can see that goes slightly angled there, so I'll bring that away, lift it up a bit, a little fraction more, go back in. There you go, that's going to be straight enough. I should get that piece out of that. Stab centres both sides, where I like to do it, and that's it. Right, like I say, we can do everything. Now, I've done carbide yesterday. I will probably use a couple of my little spindle gouges or something today to do this piece. You'll have to put it in whether you want to see it all with carbides, with spindle. I know a lot of people do traditional turning as well. A lot of people using the carbides are, sorry guys, I was drinking coffee, are wanting to use some traditionals as well. Now, take note, we've got a very big gap here, a very small gap here. So at first we're going to get a bit of vibrating, whatever. It's only because we're overhanging so much. As soon as we get this edge off, get your tool rest in. As soon as you can get to solid, get it in. Okay, right. And for this first bit, I'm just going to use my 1/2 inch spindle gouge. Jasmine's climbing in the box of wood. And I'm just going to get it to round. Okay, now I like using spindle gouge for this sort of thing. If you feel more comfortable with a bowl gouge, use a bowl gouge. Okay, I've said before, I turn left-handed with it. I come in, flutes closed. Take these nasty bits off first. that's what happens as you come to there. It's just bedding in, that's all it is. But you can always take it as a challenge and see if you can keep it going without it stopping. But for us, we're going to tighten it because I want to get it down to there a bit quick. Taking big heavy cuts, so it's going to stall a couple of times. I just want to get it to the round, that's all. That's it, that's pretty good there. Bring this in now. Right, see where I'm not round here, I can feel it there. Remember, if you touch this side up to this point, never past that point. You touch there, it might want to drag your finger down and then you'll cry. Right. I'm going off the end because I'm going to be shortening it down. Okay, that's feeling quite nice. Right, I'm going to have a quick look to see where I'm going to get my foot. Right, I've got to go a little bit more because I've got a flat spot there. Well, that's got a nice bit of patterning on that. That's going to look quite nice. So, yeah, I've got to bring that in a little bit more. Okay. Now again, as long as you're controlling your cuts all right, you don't have to use a 1/2 inch. You can go. I quite like a 3/8 spindle gouge as well. So I've got a smaller 3/8 here. Can give you a nicer finished cut sometimes because it's a smaller chisel. Sorry, dogs are just barking a little bit.
Yeah, they're just chasing the pigeons again.
Yeah, Busty chases the pigeons. It's a silly little sod. Right, I've got tiniest little bit there, but I'm going to be putting a tenon here, so about that size tenon actually. Right, I'm going to get rid of some of this. Now, if Lisa comes right in, you'll be able to see here exactly where I make the cut on the tool. Because a lot of people do come right round. A lot of people do this scrape and do this and scrape with it and scrape. The cut is actually on this edge here. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it there. No. Right, hang on. I'm going to bring the camera around this my side. So, give me a second, guys. Oh, there's Jasmine sitting there. Look at that. Right, I've got to take you out a little bit. No, I've lost focus. I've completely lost focus there. Right, there we go. I've got focus. Right, now the cut on this, you can see. I'm turning now by viewing it through the camera, and that's very awkward. Right, there's the cut. You can see what I'm using. Okay, the part of the tool that I'm using. I'm not scraping. I'm using this curved edge just here. Okay, I'm hoping this is going to stay in focus, and that's where I come in, and that's where we make it. When we get to there, don't be tempted to pull back. You will take the edge off your tool. Drop the handle. That's all you have to do, is drop the handle and come up this way. Okay, very awkward for me to do because I've got the camera right on my chest there. So now, sorry guys, but you can bugger off back round there with Lisa.
Come back with me.
She has tilt the focus out. Sorry about that. Okay. And that's where the cut is on the tool. You're using that curved edge. We are not scraping. And when you do this bit, we drop our handle like that. Drop our handle, so we actually cut on the slice, okay, and we get a very smooth finish. Right, that's a big enough tenon. Now I'm going to take another little, very fine and away from the tool rest. When you've got a 3/8 spindle gouge, you can get a really beautiful cut. Right, that is a finished cut on that, but a push cut's not a definite finish cut. But yeah, we got it good there. We've got a very tiny mark there, but that's not a problem because I've got to take the bottom off of this afterwards anyway. Okay, and that's it. That's all I want to do is get it down to that point. Now I'm going to take it off, turn it round and put it in a chuck. I'll bring you back in a minute. Right, okay guys, I've got my chuck on, I've got my SK114 and I've got the shark jaws, okay? They call them deep gripper jaws, I call them shark jaws. That's how they should have named them.
Yeah.
Right, I've got my tenon, so that's going in, only a small tenon, that's going to go in there, and well, that's it. Now I know I have had people before say to me about what size do the tenons go for this and stuff. I can't honestly tell you, I don't measure, I tend to just look at the chuck, look at the piece and think, right, that's going to fit, and that's it. I just turn it by eye. When you've been turning a long time, you shouldn't be having to measure all the time to get a tenon, okay? And people get over, how can I say, they get a bit,
Over anal.
yeah, they get a bit anal about perfect size of, it's so, I mean, come on, you're holding wood, all right? You're holding wood, wood moves, simple as that. Right, now I'm going to take the front off on this, okay, and I'm going to use the spindle gouge for it at the moment. Now, as I said, normally a lot of people will do that and put it straight across there, okay, and a lot of people will do this. Don't ever do that, okay. We're going to make some nice cuts across, but it's a bit uneven at the moment, right? Now, for me, what I would always recommend, and it works for me, might work for you, is put your tool, don't put your tool straight across. Have it that way, slightly. You'll find it will make it a lot easier when you make your cuts across if it's at a slight angle rather than straight, okay? Simple as that. Right, start it up. Yep, everything's running through. Now, all we need to do, close your flute, come in here, and we just make a few light push cuts. Now, when you come on, there we go, we can just start like this and come on here, but quite often that's where skids can happen, okay? And it's trying it now, it will want to skid, right? So I always say, if you're not sure and you're new to turning, do a little slice cut, and then you've got somewhere to put your bevel and you've got no skipping, okay? And then all it is to rotate, and I'm going to show you here. Now this is not being cocky or boys pissing up against the wall, we can piss higher, I'm just showing you so you can get an understanding. One hand, okay, and you've seen how unlevel this front is, but the bevel will give us all the control we need. And all we do is let the tool feed in. As you get here to the middle, now if it starts to get a bit harder, it will bounce a little bit because this look, the wood is uneven, right? It starts to get a little bit harder as you get to the middle to push. Don't start pushing, open the flute, open it like that, and you'll find it will just cut straight across. This is with a spindle gouge I'm talking about, I'm not talking about bowl gouges. Right, now, I know I've got to still get down a little bit, so what we're going to do, for a quick second, we're going to cheat. If you like cheating, you could call it cheating. I don't, I just call it using all my tools to my advantage. Right. I'm going to use a square, and I'm going to bring this down, nice and quickly, like this. It's a square chisel. Now people would turn around and say that's cheating, or you're just scraping. Well, I've watched some very sort of famous turners do it with scrapers all the time, and people seem to think that's alright. Well, why not use a carbide, and it never needs sharpening? And look at the finish. Look, we've got a beautiful finish there, and all we've done is gone do-do-do-do-dum. Okay, right, now we've got our finish. We'll improve that a little bit with our spindle gouge though. So that was our, we can go to that and just do it really quick. Okay, again, tool rest in slightly and keeping that tool rest out that way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice little cut here, a finished cut. Now, if you want to come straight in on the edge, close your flute completely and push in there, start your cut, and now rotate, and away we go. Okay, now all we need is downward pressure. Don't put your hand on the tool rest, it will spoil your cut. As we come towards the middle, open the flute and you'll find it will cut. Now that works because when you come to the middle, and I can show you this bit, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go in here and dig in a bit, alright? Right, now, as we come here, if we keep going like this and keep our flute this way, because the grain goes across, okay, although it's spinning, it's going across, we're pushing into that end grain, okay? And we don't want to push into it, because what it's doing is cutting on a scraping mode. If we open the flute, now that end grain is now coming down onto this edge and it's cutting, it's not scraping. So suddenly, oh, it goes across just like hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
There you go, beautiful. Alright, that's what we do. Now, right, I'm now to show you exactly what I'm making. Okay, is I've done one earlier. I'm making a little potpourri pot like that, okay, out of my firewood. So that's a little bit of firewood, and I'm going to basically do another one of these, okay? And what I've got on the back of this, it has, let's try it for a minute please. On the back of this, it has 3 little studs, okay? And that's what locates inside here, this inner one, to stop it moving. I've done a second one so that it sinks in and it sits nice and flat, okay, rather than proud. Now, the awkward thing is getting a measurement between these to know exactly where you've got to do. Right, easy way, what I did, I had a piece of paper, I put a bit of black from a marker pen on that and then quickly pushed it down. It gave me the 3 dots, and then I've done the circle with my compass, done that, that's it, okay? And then from that, I transferred that to this. And that's got the inner one, so I need the little centre bit. So what I'm going to do, just let me take that little nipple off, okay, and if I come on the centre, get my centre mark, that's centre, okay, it's not moving, and then all I've got to do, oh sorry, put it on the tool rest, obviously, and there, okay. That, if I now come in with my parting tool, right, that should, I say should, it might need a slight adjustment. If it does, it has to go slightly bigger. Right, that's, yeah, that's there. That's a perfect fit actually, look. Perfect fit. Right. And now I need one for the outside. And for that I set up, because I've already done one earlier, I thought it would save a bit of time. I set up another caliper. And that, from there, my centre comes to there. And that's the next one. Right, so then sticking with the parting tool, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one a little bit deeper, this there, and then this one I'm going to take down, just for the thickness of the bit. Alright, now I might have to take a little bit out of this centre. Just for me to try it, okay? Now let's see. Right, that clips in there. Does it? Yeah. Yeah, it's this very little bit tight. I'm going to take a tiny fraction. It's just very tight. I don't want it to be dead tight. It just needs a that's it, a little bit like that. And that's part. That's it, perfect, look at that.
Okay.
There, no movement, it fits in just nice. Okay, so that's it. So we've got to hollow that bit out, keep this bit, hollow all that out of there, but don't hit the side there because you'll make it loose. It won't be a major issue because it's tight on this side anyway, but that's what I wanted to show you anyway. Right, there, remember, very slight angle, makes it just a little bit easier than having it dead straight across, because it just gives room for your hand to have a bit of clearance here, so otherwise you'll be doing this stupid stuff and not good. Right, sticking with the 3/8 spindle gouge first off, and I'm just going to start to do a little bit of hollowing. Okay, and I'm just going to come in here. Now, when you're using for the hollowing, now what you'll notice, if you come in, you don't want to be coming in with your flute right up. Okay, a lot of people do. New to turning, you're in a very dangerous place where you could get it just slightly wrong and bang, you'll get a massive patch. Okay, now if you come in with your flute over like this, there's a tendency when you start that you'll get that. Okay, it will do this to skip, and a lot of people say stick your thumb there and press and then come in, and that stops it skipping. Right, well that's all right, but you're doing a lot of pressing and hard stuff. What we want to do is find out why is it skipping and how do we stop it is better. Right, the reason it's skipping, because when we come on and we've got it there, it naturally wants to chase because it's that angle. Okay, so the easiest way is to come in with it straight like that and it won't move. The minute you move that, it wants to go that way. Okay, dead straight, push in, open it, and then you come round. The other way is to come with the flute paste sticking right in, pick it up, open it, and then move your flute round. And when you do that, you won't get any catches. And we can start taking this bit away. Remember, we don't want to touch this bit here. Now we're okay. We've got somewhere where our bevel can go, so we're not going to pick up, we're not going to get any skip. And as long as we keep this, we keep control. Now, can you hear that? Yeah. Right, when you start to get that noise like that, that's telling you your chisel's not big enough. And it's starting to vibrate. Because it's only a 3/8, I wouldn't go much deeper than that with a 3/8. So all we do is we pop that one back and we grab our 1/2 inch slightly bigger tool. This is why we need all the different sizes and different tools and different bevels and things. So now we come in again, we place our bevel there, we rotate, we come down. As we come onto the bottom, rotate the chisel and open your flute, and you will come straight across the bottom like that, and a beautiful bottom, and you'll get none of that nasty tear out that you get just in here. Okay, now I can feel bit of sawdust. Look, there's the slight lip ridge there still. Yeah. So we put our bevel here because we don't want to cut this. We've already got that size. So we put our bevel on it. There's the cut. Rotate. There it is. We've got one more. I can just see. I'm watching the line down here. I don't know if you can see the line.
Yeah, I can.
Right. Okay. That's what we're going for. That line. One more. There it is. Now we follow round, and as we come to this point, we open our flute, and we open it up, and we come across on the bottom. Okay. and we've got a nice little curve in there, just for a little bit of potpourri, maybe a little bit of scent stuff or whatever, and we'll put that in there, you know, all that sort of crap. Right, okay, on the front edge I'm going to take a very fine cut. I don't want to lose it, and then here I'm just going to do a very little brush. That is those tiniest little cuts that make all the difference to the piece. Okay, now if you was going to be using carbide, one of the hollowers, the SCHs, exactly the same. Put the bevel on here, pick up that cut, run it around, come onto that bottom, let me pick up another one, there we go. And again, straight across, leave you with a beautiful finish, okay? That's that. Right, we're done on that bit. We're done on that bit. So, now then, loads of sand in. That's it. That's it. In there, well, I think I'll just threaten it with a sand. Ah, right, I can see. That's that little line there. Yeah. Now that is, I didn't see it before because the sawdust was in it. That is where that bit's got to come to. Now I could leave that because the little knobbles are going to sit on that, but I don't want to. I want it gone. So I'm going to bring my flute on and get rid of it. Take it around, come to the bottom, open my flute up. I can't see bugger all. Right, come around, open my flute, come across, open my flute right all the way open. There we go, straight off there, done, beautiful. Right, before I was rudely interrupted there, right, a quick little bit of 240 grit in there. That's it, that's the sanding done. Right, that's all the sanding done, and we've got a beautiful, beautiful finish there. I'll just open that up and show you. There we go, you can see we've got a beautiful finish in there, yeah? Yep. Right, okay, and we've done loads of sanding, obviously. Right, and there we go, our piece fits, look, that fits, no shaking, no rattling, no nothing, okay? Perfect fit, yeah? Right, now we've got to take the bottom off. Now, fortunately, my sharp jaws, and I will say, my wooden jaws yesterday, I took the beach off. Now, a little tip for you, if you do make them up, use plywood. I put plywood back on there, okay? I took the beach off. The plywood really grips, it's nice. The beach went so shiny inside, it just can't grip the piece. And with a small thing like that, I can't over tighten because I'd damage it, I'd crack it. So that's why it was coming out of that. And the bottom of that had a particularly horrible bit in the bottom, I think. So, right, anyway, today we ain't got to worry about that because I know that potpourri thing, it fits there. Now I'm going to be holding this just in that little edge there. Okay, so that goes on. Now, when that goes on, oh, it's got to be a very tiny nip like that. Don't over tighten, because even though these jaws are so fantastic, and they are, but when it starts up, it will do that very slightly. You don't want it to crack. There we go. Everything's staying good. Right, now then. Again, my tool rest goes over to the centre. This is where we have to be careful. If we're going to lose it, this is where we would lose it. Going back to the 3/8 spindle gouge, and I'm going to just slice this away as I did with the last one. Being very careful on this middle bit, because it's this little bit here on some of this wood that it's a little bit grabby, and when you're just held, come on, I want you to go. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut just into that there, and then that should allow me to get it. There, it's gone. Right, now my cuts are going to come this way. Now don't forget, no pushing. I can hear.
Yeah.
That's not actually held. Right, I'm going to show you.
Rattling.
I'm making those cuts. I'm going to show you. It's actually moving. Look, it's not actually held. I'm going to give it a tiny. That's it. It's still not going to be overheld, but as long as we keep our cuts, and this is where your tool control comes in, as long as we keep our cuts really good, it should stay on. And this is where, again, it is important don't think this is scraping. It is not scraping. It is using this curved part here to cut. And you do this all day long and you won't blunt that chisel as long as you cut. If you drag that back and straight, you're going to blunt your chisel. You'll be going back to sharpen before you even finish the bottom of this. It makes that much of a difference, a scrape to a cut. Right, okay, that's got that all flat. Now we're going to start doing our bits. Now this is again where you don't want to get a little skip because it will throw it off. Completely closed. Look, bevel's on. Just rotate. Start going in. Don't let it feed too fast at first. Hand away from the tool rest. As you come to the middle, don't push. Just open the flute and it will. Just do that. Okay? And go off really nice. Now, I want to do something here. So, what I want to do is I want to do a little slice in here. Now, because I do a slice in, that's very clean, okay? And what I'm going to do is do a very little, like that. That brushes that. Remember, it's all the small things that matter. Now, I want to cut in here and then roll this over. Like so. Then I've got to come here, put this on, and come in and get that clean. Now that gives me a really nice clean little bead there. That's just going to add for the bottom and give me something. Now bevel goes inside the bead. No cutting, can't do nothing. Rotate and then go. And this is going to be done in 2 cuts. There's the first one. Again, because we can see the little line. Bevel goes in, rotate, picks up that cut. Going in, going across, open the flute, fully open, well not fully open, but open. And we will go across like that. You get that little nipple, just bring it back, rotate it, and there you go. And that gives us like a little beaded effect going in, nice and smooth there, nice and smooth there, and across. I've got a tiny little bump there. Just there, I can feel it bumps up slightly. So, chisel goes on, and you might not see this, but there, it drops in there. So just come back till it drops in, rotate and go forward. And there you go, bump's gone. Okay, that's it, all done with the spindle dowel. Right, so now I'll turn the dust extractor on. And it's just about getting your tool control. It makes your turning so much pleasure. Now I'm not touching this bit because I've done that with the gouge. I don't need to sand it. I've done that all with the gouge, okay? Doesn't need it. So I'm just doing that centre bit. Don't touch that bit. That tiny bit here. I don't think we actually sanded that. No, I didn't sand it. Oh, well there you go. See, it's so good a finish, I forgot to sand it. Right, there we go. That's done. Right. Stop that. Stop that. And there you go. You see that finish. Look at that finish we got on that bottom. See, and that there is a nice little cut. It's just a nice feature. Right, that's held, that's okay. Sometimes you do that, and as you come to stop, you find it. Well, look, you can see there's no tightness to that whatsoever. That is it. That's all it was, and that was on that little lip there. That's all it was held on, and there you go. That's our little poke. Now I haven't put a finish on it. I'm not personally keeping this.
Are you not?
It's for a demonstration, isn't it? You know, I don't keep any of these things really, do I? You know.
It can go in the bathroom.
Right, and there we go, guys. So out of, again, now that's had no finish at all put on it. It's actually got quite a nice shine to it. Look at that grey. That's actually, I probably will keep this one, but I can always just slip that on there and put a little bit of finish on the outside of that. But there you go. Okay.
Green. Yeah.
And that's our bottom that we got. Look. Okay. It's our bottom. That was our inside, our little bit of hollowing. As you can see, we've done virtually no sanding whatsoever. Spend a little bit of time with your sanding. Go up to a 600 grit or something if you want, and that'll make you a lovely little piece and a nice little dainty little piece that you can sell at your craft fair. Okay. Now this I picked up. You can buy these from a lot of the place. I picked this one up, I think it was at a boot fair or something, I can't remember.
Is it free for £1 or something?
Yeah, I got 3 of them for £1 or something like that it was. Yeah, so just look out for it, but you can buy them cheap if you go on to places like Temu and stuff. Yeah. You'll pick them up. Okay. Yeah, and
I don't think they knew what it was, so that's
you can sell them nice and cheap, you know, at your craft fairs or whatever. A little thing like that is the sort of things that will sell because they're dainty, they're nice, they're pretty, but it costs you next to nothing. Bits of firewood, guys. This is another thing out of firewood. So far I've got quite a collection building up there out of that firewood. So you will well get your, well, you've got to remember this isn't even the full one bag yet. No. I've still got more bits, and that was £7 for that bag. Some places you get it even cheaper. I mean, I used to get them from Snayton. They used to be £5.50 for a bag the size of 2 of those. So that was really good there. Shame they've disappeared. But there you go, guys. That will finish up quite nice, and that's all it was to show you, give you another idea, something else you can get out of a nice piece of firewood. Okay. A little potpourri. It's only got to hold a little bit. It's only got to go in the bog, isn't it, or something like that, you know. Bog. You can put a little bit of stuff in. You can actually, you could use a little bit of wood shaving in there and put some of that essence oils, you know, those
the oils,
the oils or something. Yeah. You don't have to actually have potpourri, which is quite hard to buy now. Potpourri. Most places you don't see it. It's only the really big stuff when you get at Christmas.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go, guys. So I will see you on the next one. Toodle pip.
Bye, guys.